Cory, great to see you. You are the European Open champion. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels sweet, to be honest.
Let's talk about, the tournament itself, your route to the final. You started in the early rounds fairly confidently by the looks of the scorelines. You seemed to sort of float through the first 2 or 3 rounds. And then you came up against Matt Steeper. And that was an interesting match, to say the least. So just to get this right, you were 7-1 down?
Yeah.
And you won the last 7 frames to win at 8-7.
Yeah.
What was your mindset from 7-1 down?
Well, my head was in the shed at 7-1, so I was playing terrible. Like, bad. He played well. I mean, it wasn't just me playing bad, he played well too. Like, he deserved his 7-1 lead. It wasn't any fluke. And then he had a chance to win 8-1. And it wasn't really a tough chance. I think he was more focused on the white, missed an easy pot. It's sort of you get a 7-2 and then you just take it for what it is. It's a different challenge then, isn't it? Because if you somehow did manage to win, you're surely going to take a hell of a lot of momentum into your next games. And I think he had another chance early to win 8-3 maybe. But then after that, he didn't really have a chance. It got me going, and the last 4 frames didn't really have a shot, really.
So it was just a momentum shift then. I guess you were just running on empty and then trying to scrape your way back into it, and you managed to do it.
Yeah, because as I say, he played well, but oh my God, some of the chances I was missing early in that match was just so frustrating. But then shows how quickly it can turn around. Having
come through that experience then and come from so far behind, did you then feel like almost your name was on the trophy at that point?
Obviously a lot of people do say that, but I never did, just because I've never been after a big win from 7-1 behind. People sometimes can get too high, and then after a bad result they get too low. You just try to stay as close to neutral as possible. But I obviously knew then I had some sort of momentum going into it. And the next, against Dean, the next match I started really well. But then I played poor in the middle part, and it was all of a sudden I think I was 5-4, 6-4 behind. So it could have so easily lost the next game too. But I definitely played obviously a lot better after the 7-1 prior to it, obviously.
Yeah. So what do you credit for that kind of mental strength? Like, where did you dig that out from? Because, you came back from behind in 2 massive games before the semi-final stage and still carried on as well. It was such a long day. Where did you dig that out from?
I don't know. I think I've always had it. I mean, I've done it since I was young. I've never seemed to wilt. Like, obviously, you can easily lose matches by big scorelines, and sometimes you can lose your head and down to yourself, but you just never give in, do you, really? It's just like you practice hard for these events, and then you're close to losing, but it doesn't mean you've lost. You see, the amount of times you see people do it, like they're close to losing, they sort of just not give in, but throw the towel into a degree, then it's just no point. Like, you're here to win, innit? And also, if you win from a big deficit behind, it's such a good, it's a massive feeling. And if you ever play that opponent again, they know that they've lost you from 7-1 behind, 6-1. You know what I mean? They've always thought, if I say the next time we play them, they're 4-0 up. They think, he could come back to me, beat me. It's a mental game as well, isn't it? For them, not just for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you beat Matt, came back against him. Beat Dean, came back against him. Played really well in the semi-final against JJ. And then you came up against Gareth Hibbert in the final, who was in form himself, and you blew him away. I mean, where did that one come from? You just seemed to be absolutely in the zone, so late on in the day, having played all day. Is that a stamina thing? Do you think that your stamina was better than Gaz's on the day?
I don't know, but it's. I think it was just one of those. Like, 'cause I know Gaz can obviously easily do it to me. It's just one of those games where I got off to a really good start. I had a couple of easy chances early. He missed 1 or 2 maybe that he wouldn't, and all of a sudden the lead's 4-0, 5-1, and he's obviously facing an uphill. Like, from 5-1, unless he plays out of his skin and I don't get balls from break, I've got to miss chances really to lose. But from there I continued playing as well as I was, and he didn't really have enough chances even to get into the match, so the scoreline was just, obviously a win's a win, so it makes no difference to the scoreline, but obviously it is good winning.
It's a nice one.
Of course it is, yeah, of course it is.
It was the perfect start to the season then, an open victory in the very first tour. What are your ambitions, having started the season so well? What are your ambitions for the rest of the season now?
I've never been one to set targets. Just because, say if you say at the start of the year, I want to win at least one event. But if you win the first event of the year, you've already met your goal, so you're sort of limiting yourself. I've always been a case of just win your next, I know it sounds so cliche, but just win your next match and just keep going from there. Because every match is different. Every match has its own challenges. If you're a favourite, if you're an underdog, if you're behind, if you're in front. So just try to win it. You try to win every comp, don't you? Otherwise you turn up and think, if I've won that event, semis will do. It's just not. It's not what we do, is it? You turn up and you try to win everything.